All right. How we doing? It's 6:30. Time for the Steve Squared Show. We are prompt tonight. It is Monday, October 28th. October is just rolling along. I'll tell you. This is not just this is a scary week for many reasons. First of all, Halloween is coming on Thursday. Scary right there. We turn the clocks back next weekend. That's really scary because it's already dark. I can't even imagine how early you're gonna wake up. It's gonna be dark. You're gonna go to work. It's gonna be dark. You're gonna come out of work. It's gonna be dark. It's just the darkness has fell upon Long Island. What else? I'm telling you, there's just a lot of scariness going on. Oh, and then you got voting, right? There's this. I'll see you before then, though. I'll check in with you, make sure you all still have a pulse next week. That'll be voting eve. But of course, people are voting all over the place, right? There's early voting, late voting. I think you can vote and get a vaccination. You get your flu shot. You vote. They're cross-section. You're multitasking all over the place. I think you can actually go to CVS and vote. I'm not sure about this. Don't quote me because I am not someone you should ever quote. But you know what? You go, get a flu shot, vote. Do it all in one trip. Just like a Band-Aid that you want to rip off. Do it all. That's what you do. Anyway, when you have all of this chaos going on around you, this high anxiety, and that's foreshadowing, I'll tell you why. When you have this vertigo, this whole craziness, You come, you make a pit stop at the Steve Squared show. I'll bring you down. I'll relax you. And I can't do it by myself. If you see, let me get out of the way. Let me move. You see my friend up there. I like to get into the Halloween spirit just as much as the next guy. I got a pumpkin up there. It's so far away, I'll bring him close. But before we go to pumpkin, we always say hi to Kermit when we're doing the remote shows. So, hello, Kermit. Kermit looks spooky, right? He's just a branch. But let me get the pumpkin. Show you what we got going on over here. Now, let me tell you the trick to picking out a good pumpkin. There's a trick to picking out a good pumpkin, okay? Now, what you do is, if you see this guy here, you see our pumpkin right here? Now, he definitely looks a lot like me. You always want to pick a pumpkin that looks like you. So you see, I have better teeth. But for the most part, we got similar hair, that glazed look, that dim-witted glazed over look, that haven't slept in a month look. Also, if you look, we have similar hair. The stem is everything in picking out a proper pumpkin. You want a stem that's really different. Do you see this stem? Can you see? Look how it kind of spins around. It almost looks, in essence, like a little hairdo. It comes in twists. You want something different in your stem. Don't just get the perfect stem. You want something that's not perfect. Twisty. It's got a little strand on it. Something like that. Gives it a little spookiness. I'll put and you always want to keep a price tag on anything you purchase. In case after Halloween you want to bring back the pumpkin. No, I like to keep the pumpkin. Let's see how much this pumpkin was. $3.50. I mean, everything else is expensive. Why shouldn't pumpkins be? I don't think that's bad for a pumpkin. That's kind of standard. We always get the pumpkins over at the nursery. So, hope you all had a good weekend. Again, another pretty nice weather weekend. And this week should be pretty good as well. We're talking about on Halloween. Check this out. Now, I don't know when you were a kid. I used to wear my costume and then have to wear a jacket over it. So nobody even saw the costume. We're looking at 79, approaching 80 degrees. That's right. We're having a California Halloween. I don't care what the cause is. I don't care if the sun is moving closer and we're getting closer to melting. I love it. The hotter, the better. So, whatever. If that's what's happening, I'd rather have the earth heat over, burn up, than freeze to death. I cannot handle that. I cannot. I mean, I always tell people in the two movies, Miracle in the Andes, would you rather watch that movie if you want to talk about being stranded in the cold? They are freezing to death. That movie about the true story about the Uruguayan soccer team that crashed in the mountains in the freezing cold. It was so cold. Bitter. Do you want your digits, your fingers falling off? You can't feel anything. Or would you prefer the Tom Hanks movie, Castaway? What's better than being stranded by yourself on a desert island, 80 degrees, beautiful waters, palm trees? Why was he trying to get home? Why would you try to get off of that island, I ask you? I wouldn't. Perfect. I'm there. I'm good. He survived the plane crash. What are you doing? Why are you trying to get back home to what? To go back to work? Right away. You see, FedEx put him right back to work. He's probably like, let me go back to that island. I'm telling you, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. If you get stranded on one of those islands that's beautiful weather, just stay there. You don't even want them looking for you. I wouldn't even want them looking for you. He was trying to send signals. I would have been ducking in one of those caves if I saw a plane overhead. Anyway, that's just me, though. I'm the angry man. I'm the everyman, angry man. So I had a pretty good weekend. I went on my run, getting closer to that race day. That's another thing I'm getting ready for. I felt pretty good. Did one of my longest runs yet on Saturday. Then Sunday I followed it up with a nice long bike ride. And I've become immune to people all around me, and I'll tell you why. And here's our first story to tell you why. Because this kind of goes hand in hand. I'll pull the story out first. Should I? Yeah, I'll do this. Here we go. Road rage is up on Long Island. Now that's not news. I mean that goes without saying. Just Rage is up on Long Island. But if you want to throw road, you can put anything in front of Rage on Long Island, and it's up. But let's start with road rage. It is up in Nassau and Suffolk counties. The numbers from incidents of people chasing people down, getting out of their cars. There's some guy beat another guy to death. He's serving 18 years to life. This is insanity. And I'm telling you, you get behind the car, and I know sometimes you get cut off, somebody's falling asleep, they're not paying attention, and then you start cursing them, you know what? They give you some tips on how to handle rage. I love Newsday. You know me and Newsday. Here's some what to know. Road rage has been on a rise from 2020 to 2023, a 15% spike in road rage incidents. And now why I connect this to my bike riding and running is because I have path rage. Okay, yes, I have road rage when I drive, just like everybody else, right? Somebody always annoys you. They cut you off, they do this, take your parking space. If you don't rage once in a day, you're from another planet, okay? But again, if you're stranded somewhere on a desert island, you don't have these issues. You don't have obstacles. It's all there for you. There's no lines, there's no waiting, there's no on hold. There's nothing but peaceful serenity. What is better than that? Tom Hanks, what are you doing? Anyway, so road rage is up, and I have path rage because I go on the path, I do my run, I do my bike, and people are, they're not following protocol, and you could get hurt. People are just, gazing up at the trees, standing in the middle of knowing that people are coming to and fro. And you got to be careful. They're not paying attention. Then you're like, whoa. So you have to be careful. Gotta watch out. Gotta please people. I know you want to see the birds and the beautiful nature and the foliage of the beautiful colors, but please, just take it easy, okay? Go off the path, go on the side, and take all the pictures you want. You can't just snap pictures, and I'm motoring towards you either on foot or on bike. Please, I'm begging you. What happened here? It says people are blaming the surge in incidents, so they always go to specialists or psychologists why people are raging. People are raging because people can't drive. I don't need a reason, but it says here there's other underlying issues that are causing people to be triggered so quickly. And I use the word triggered because I'm always triggered. Don't push my buttons, I say. So the therapists or the analysts are saying maybe people are ready to go because they're having financial stress, home stress, right? Thinking about whatever internal strife you're going through, you're taking it out on the road, on other people. And who else would you take it out on? That's correct. That makes sense. And that's what you should do, is take it out on other people. What are you going to do? You don't want to bring it home to the family. You don't want to bring it home to your kids. Take it out on the stranger that doesn't know how to drive their little Miata. They're driving around in a $100,000 Porsche, and they're stuck at the red light. That's who you take it out on. You don't go home and take it out on the family. What are they talking about? No. You're doing the right thing, Long Island. Stay with it. Stay with your rage. We have to be known for something other than malls and tanning parlors and flip-flops, right? So why not rage? It's something good to be known for. It's 6:40. Temperature is getting cool outside, but it's dark. It's 6:40 and it's dark. Do you remember when we did the shows in the summertime and I would gaze outside to a beautiful summer eve? Oh, who wouldn't love that? Now it's just dark. It's dark. So, anyway. Oh, boy. Hey, you know me. You know what I like to talk about. Not only do I segue into my segments beautifully. So not only do we talk a little rage, but I like to keep you up to date on the new listeria outbreak. Now, we had beat that to death on Boar's Head. Boar's Heads, we know they have listeria. But there's a new brand that's made their way into the market. So let's move over, Boar's Head. Mickey D's and the Quarter Pounder now is now in the arena of listeria. They're saying it's safe now, okay? Because at least 75 people were sick from McDonald's and E. coli. This is an E. coli outbreak. I'm not a microbiologist. I don't know the difference between Listeria or E. coli. What I do know is I want neither in my food. Probably, that's why you go to Burger King. It's a have it your way. You say, I'll have my burger without the E. coli. Hold the E. coli. That's why you go to Burger King. It's a have it your way. Right? Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, hold the E. coli that it upsets us. You know, something like that. That's the commercial you come out with if you're Burger King now, right? Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, hold the E. coli that upsets us. There you go. See, I just write jingles as I go. I should be working for these places. I'm sure I will be sued momentarily. I'm sure my phone is going off right now with lawsuits from all over the place. All the voting people, right? I don't know how they get my number. They keep asking me, when are you voting? What are you voting? Vote. Don't worry about me. I'll take care of it. I go on the day. I like to get a sticker. You know, my mom got her flu shot. She was very upset. She got no sticker. We want some gratification when we do something that's annoying to us, right? We have to drudge and get a flu shot. Give me a sticker. Would it have hurt to give my mom a sticker? Instead, she comes home with a black and blue mark. That's not, come on. I want to, when I vote, I want something. I voted, or give me a T-shirt or something. I don't care, a little sticker, a sign. I want to feel good. I don't want to rage anymore. I want to feel good. And I'm not going to feel good if I have a McDonald's quarter pound. It says here, despite recent recalls, U.S. Says its food supply is at the top of over 100 and somebody said 133 countries. It says from Boar's Head deli meats and waffles to McDonald's quarter pounders, this year has had a number of outbreaks. But it says the United States ranks near the top for food safety out of 113 countries. Now, out of 113 countries, I'm sure 100 of them are countries that don't even know that electricity has been invented yet. So let's pump the brakes before we start patting ourselves on the back here. Huh, U.S. and the FDA? 113 countries, come on. That's, what are you doing right there? But they say we are. There's been 300 food recalls each year. The FDA regulates about 80% of foods, including dairy, fruit, vegetables. USDA regulated meats are safe and they regulate 80%. I don't know if that's a good number. It feels like it should be higher, right? They should regulate about 100%, not 80%. That's why these things are happening. I think so. Anyway, they're here to say that they don't think it's the patties. It's not the burger itself. What's happening is it's the onions on the burger. This is what McDonald's and its people are saying. So they found that the meat seems to be safe. It's the onions that are on it, which could be true, but doesn't make it any better because that's how they serve it. So what difference? What if it was the bun, the onions? It's all one thing. It doesn't make the situation any better. So I guess make sure there's no onions on your quarter pounder. But it says here they're good to go. This one had said, this was before. It said 75 people sick in 13 states. A total of 22 people have been hospitalized and 2 really serious. 1 person has passed away in Colorado. Oh my God. It's terrible. They get there so it says here McDonald's has confirmed that Taylor Farms, let's call them out. Taylor Farms, if you Taylor, don't go there. They're in California, where else? A California-based produce company was the supplier of the onions used in the restaurants involved in the outbreak. So that's where the onions came from. In a statement Friday, Taylor Farms said it's not their fault. That was a good statement. And they have recalled their yellow onions. Okay. It saddens us to see the illnesses and affected individuals and families from the outbreak, the family-owned company said. Yeah, I bet that's not all that's sad to you, is when you're going to be sued up the old onion and you'll be bankrupt. Because you only get one chance at this. Nobody wants to, have this place known for outbreak and disease and then say, well, they're better now. No, you go somewhere else. Sorry, you just go somewhere else. So, anyway, Mickey D's is good. You're fine. Daylight savings time is ending. That is correct. Saturday night or Sunday morning at 2 a.m. you will turn your clocks back. You will backtrack it. This is annoying. It says, oh boy. And so this is going to be on November 2nd. Well, November 3rd actually. But it says that it does have a huge effect on the brain and the body, and you'll feel that change. Now, I thought they had said, let me see here, which states. So it says 2 states, obviously Arizona and Hawaii, they don't adhere to this. They're smart. We don't recognize this. They go by standard time. Good for them. Most countries do not serve daylight saving. I don't know why we still do this. It doesn't make sense. It says lawmakers occasionally propose a bill to get rid of this idea, but it never passes. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Does it make sense to you to turn the clock back, forward? It's something they did in the 70s twice. They did it during World War II as a conservation thing, and again in the 70s with the oil supplies in having to be rationed. They thought that using less light or something. At first, back in the day, it was a farmer's thing, right? So they'd have more time to hoe the field. But now, whatever. So anyway, that's all I have to say on that. I don't like it because I like longer days. I like longer days. So I'm running, and I'm still on the hunt for the perfect pair of headphones. I've gone through millions of pairs. Okay, I have these that I've gone through, which are not bad. These are pretty good. I broke them though, as you can see. I tried to tape them, but these I might have to rebuy and repurchase because you could see they have a soft cushion here, which is nice on top of the head. The ear pads that go over are they really engulf the ear. They really welcome the ear and comfort it like a nice Posturepedic pillow. It really feels nice. I feel it noise cancels out. I don't really hear too much. And I like the color, right? It's got a little yellow, a little blue. Not bad. And it works very well. $11 on Amazon. Who could beat it? I'll probably get that. But I've been trying others. I got this pair, which had terrible reviews. But I was in on an emergency and I got it. I went to Target. I got these. Not bad. I don't love the way they look. Why are they, and they don't, oh, here we go. I don't love the way they look, but they did the job. They were fine. They kind of cut in and out a little bit. I think the connection might be an issue, and that was what some of the reviews said. But again, $10. I tried it. It's actually made by, I like the name too, Heyday. Heyday. So, I tried that. As you know, I'm not someone that likes wireless because then you need, or a Bluetooth connection, because if you do not have a connection the day of the race, you could be in for a lot of problems. Say you lose the signal. That could happen. I can't run, 14 miles, 13.1 miles and listen to crickets. I'll go insane. You talk about road rage, I'll have rage that day. So I will have to. I like the wired. Plus, I don't like earbuds in my ear. Believe me, if there's nobody more higher maintenance, I have to wear the socks the right way, the perfect shoe. How am I going to dress? I want to be warm but not sweating. I don't want to be cold. So there's a lot of things that go into dealing with me as a human being. There is. I'm very problematic, as you can see. But anyway, I saw this great documentary, and I wanted to shout this out. Again, my mom had introduced me to, back in the day, Alfred Hitchcock, the great director. Introduced me, and I used to love the Alfred Hitchcock. He had a series on. It was obviously done in the 50s, but I used to watch it in syndication, and it was good. It was, it was fun. It was good because it was kind of satirical. It was spoofy. I mean, they were good, suspenseful. But there was a bit of humor to it a little bit sometimes, and he was always introducing it, and it was, and that great music. You always knew the Alfred Hitchcock music, and dun 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 dun, and he would come with the big stomach. But he had made some of the greatest films, and so I have a couple suggestions if you don't know from Alfred Hitchcock. He had some great films and worked with the best. So right off the bat, Psycho, 1960, you got to see that. You have a young Anthony Perkins. Oh boy, wonderful, crazy, Psycho. You get the idea, right? He's his mother. It's always a mother thing. It's at the end of the day, right? They're the ones that turn you. It's not the road rage. It's not the other cars. It's the mother that turns you insane. Just ask Norman Bates. So it's the Bates Motel. You understand the story, right? Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, Janet Leigh, plays the actress. The thing with Alfred Hitchcock is he always used a different blonde in every movie. Like, say, Grace Kelly was in, I think, To Catch a Thief with Cary Grant. So they had a movie together. I believe Grace Kelly was in a movie with Jimmy Stewart. I believe they were in Rear Window together. Jimmy Stewart did another one with Doris Day, which was another good movie where they went overseas. Their son was kidnapped. There's always the suspense. Of course, if Jimmy Stewart was in Vertigo, he used Jimmy Stewart a lot. He would always use the same actors a lot. He felt comfortable with. And of course, The Birds, very, very intense, suspenseful, really good movie, 1962. And he used a young, unknown actress he saw on a commercial, another blonde, Tippi Hedren. It was supposed to be Vera Miles. Vera Miles was supposed to, I believe, Vera Miles was supposed to be in Psycho, but then they used Janet Leigh. He had a little problem with Vera Miles. She was another great actress from that time. But anyway, Tippi Hedren, whose famous daughter, Melanie Griffith. So Tippi Hedren plays in the movie The Birds, and that's really where it came out about what kind of human being Alfred Hitchcock was, because instead of using mechanical birds like he told her, they used real birds, and they set up a mesh screen, but they were throwing birds at her, and she was being like it was really emotionally and mentally taxing on her, where she went into a catatonic state and had to leave the set for a time being. They had to put the production on hold, and she was able to come back and finish the movie. But he was very much like that, very weird, very aggressive with his female actresses, and he was, kind of leadered after them. If you want to get a good indication of all of this, watch the movie The Girl. It's on Amazon Prime. The Girl. It's a really good movie, and you can see what I'm talking about because it shows the making of the movie The Birds, and it's really good. But it's hard, he was kind of insane, so maybe that's why he made movies that were insane, because his brain was insane. But he had a lot of The Man Who Knew Too Much. Oh, The Iron Curtain was the one with... The Iron Curtain had Paul Newman. Yes, Paul Newman played in The Iron Curtain. So he used a lot of big names in those days, and there was a lot of them with their first movies. Like, that was kind of... Paul Newman was still young and getting some footing, so he used he used all the biggies, and so he had a lot. He had never won an Academy Award as a director. They gave him like an honorary thing at the end, but honestly, because Hollywood really didn't like this guy, but he just kept pumping out movies that were like blockbusters. So they begrudgingly took the money and ran, but they didn't really care for him. He wanted a lot of control over his projects, and back then Hollywood wanted the control. The studios wanted the control, right? You had the Xanax and the Warner Brothers, and those kind of people wanted to have final say over their movies. But not old Alfred. So watch an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's Halloween week. There's The Connection. Watch a spooky movie. I would say watch a double feature. Get the family together. Watch a little The Birds and Psycho. That's a beautiful double feature. I would put those two together. There's your evening right there. You get a little popcorn. Use a little sea salt. Don't need the butter. And you sit with the family. Watch a little Psycho and a little Birds. You'll never feel the same about your mother or the Birds again. So I'm just here to help. I'm not here to do anything else. It's coming up on 7 o'clock. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm a rambling man, which is a great song by Waylon Jennings, by the way. He was a rambling man. I'm a rambling man. Bruce Springsteen. They're doing this documentary. It's actually streaming now. It's supposed to be very good. It's a documentary of his tour with him and the E Street Band. It's on Hulu. They put everything on Hulu. I don't have Hulu, so I'll never get to see it. But I'm sure it's nothing we haven't seen before. But it's done in a different way. It's supposed to be very good. I've been watching too much true crime. I'm watching all of these. I got caught up in this nonsense with the Menendez brothers because it's been on the front and center. This was something that happened, in the 90s or many years ago, and now it's resurfaced again. Netflix has a series, and then they also have the actual true documentary. And because people like Kim Kardashian brought this to the forefront of lobbying for their release, their early release, because the thing of it was, Lyle and Eric. It's always two stupid brothers. And they had these parents. They were very wealthy. 90210 Beverly Hills. You know the 90210 show. So they lived in Beverly Hills. And their father was very big in the entertainment world. He was going to move to Florida, become a senator. He was very heavily involved. They had a lot of money. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, but apparently there was an abuse going on from the father to the sons, is the story. So, instead of, they were kids, so what could they do? But I guess one day they came home and pulled out the old shotgun and blew the parents' heads off. Now, I'm not sure why they took out the mom, too. I don't know deep into I got to watch more into it. But bottom line, watching that, it was terrible. I mean, they really did a number, and what they talk about is in the documentary, even they say, because they're talking from prison about how it happened, what had happened, they said they can't believe they weren't arrested that night. They said they had gunpowder residue on their fingers. The answers they gave were ridiculous. They were like crying, that phony crying that their parents had just been shot. There was no indication of any struggle, of any break-in. It was all silly and stupid that you'd be like, well, let me talk to these two kids. What's going on here? And only then, after a few days after their parents' heads were blown off, and the two were seen driving Porsches and rolling around in wearing $100,000 Rolexes, that somebody was like, well, here we go. They were waiting for the money, and that could have been part. But again, so now, because of this abuse that has surfaced, I'm not really sure the connection and why Kim Kardashian, is she that bored? Can you be that bored if you're Kim Kardashian and you have $1 billion in the bank? Can you be that bored that you would wake up one day and say, I'm going to help get the Menendez brothers released? I don't know. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. But, I don't know how long they've served. They're still in jail, so it's not like they're getting out tomorrow. No good. You have these celebrities. She does this all the time, Kim Kardashian. She picks these famous things. She's never looking to help. There are a lot of people that are in jail for crimes they did not commit. Maybe we'll start with those and help those wrongfully convicted or people in the imprisoned reform projects that they have to people that are wrongly imprisoned because they're found guilty. They don't have the means to have a lawyer or somebody to represent them. They use whatever, and they don't know what to do, and then their state-appointed lawyer tells them, yeah, just go plea a deal, or else you're going to do 100 years, it's better to do 50. And that's what, and then they're like, all right, I don't know. Yeah, it happens every day, so maybe work on that, Kim. But, look, she would say, how's it working for me? She's doing pretty good. Good for you. Good for you, Kim. What else have we got going on? What is this? Hey, so what are you going to be for Halloween? Does anybody know? The top Halloween costume, check this out, is the ray gun. The girl from Australia that did the hip-hop contest, she got scored 0 points. She went out there and just made a fool of herself. So she was in a green jumpsuit with a hat and stuff. So that's the top selling. It's funny. Look it up. Ray gun from Australia, the hip hop girl that went into the Olympics because they had hip hop in the Olympics this year, and she just went in and was stupid. She didn't know how to hip hop, and she just made a fool of herself, and it, obviously, like anything else, goes viral. So that's one of the top costumes, along with Beetlejuice, the shrunken head Bob. Anything from Minion or Dune is always going to be up there. So that's some of your big costumes. Your big costumes. And speaking of Halloween, did you get your candy yet? Well, let's talk candy right now. So, what are we talking about candy? I usually do this every year. I throw this out there. Tell me what you think, if you can. Take a moment. I don't know if you could scream at your computer if I'll hear. But what do you think is the #1 selling candy right now? I'll give you a moment. I gotta name this pumpkin. What do you think I should name? Frankie? Because he's like Frankenstein? I could name him Frankie. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Any suggestions? Any thoughts? The Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, of course. Reese's. In over 40 states, that is the #1 candy. But that's not in all 50 states, because we have another winner in the Big Sky country of Montana, Idaho, North and South Dakota, little Wyoming. They love their M&Ms, both chocolate and peanut. So M&Ms are big in the Big Sky country. Otherwise, Reese's Pieces takes the hill. Now, 2 other states seem to be partial to the oldest candy. The oldest candy that we know, that was back in the 1800s. Can anybody figure what that is? It's a Halloween favorite and a dentist's dream. Boy, dentists love when kids enjoy this candy, really consume it at large quantities, because it's a trip to the dentist and then a trip to the dental insurance coverage, which you do not have. Trust me. I'm going to guess that most of you don't have dental insurance coverage. The candy corn, of course. These beautifully colorful, orange, white, and yellow, shaped like Dr. Seuss's cap. The candy corn. Starting off with delicious high fructose corn syrup, along with sparkling crystalline sugar to put anybody into a sugar coma. It's not even like chocolate or nougat. I love the word nougat. I love when something has nougat in it. It's just makes me. I love saying the word. Say it with me. Nougat. You know what? I found my name for my pumpkin. He is Nougat. What do you think? Does he look like a nougat? He might, or he might not, but that's his name. You see, that's how you name things. You spitball, you kind of twirl it around, marinate it, circulate it, flush it out. Nougat. I'm going to put that on Instagram and social media, see if that becomes a popular name for kids in 2025. Start naming your kids and dogs Nougat. It's a great dog's name, too, don't you think? Come here, Nougat! I like it. What else? So, candy corn, and it's big in these 2 states. Do you know which 2 states? Do you know? Bueller. Maine and New Hampshire. Maine and New Hampshire. They love themselves some candy corn. It's kind of they're very, it's that real country area. Maine is the real lobster town, right? Love them some candy corn. Do you know that, of course, the candy corn was, I think it was out definitely 1800s in Philadelphia. I think the guy's name is Robert Grangier or something like that. You'll have to look that up and don't quote me. But he discovered, invented, I don't know if you'd say discovered, it's not like he was looking for a vaccination. He, some people cure polio and, they discover, they come up with vaccines like Jonas Salk, and he comes up with, antibiotics and the cure for polio. And then some people lower the bar and they invent candy corn. It's all good. It's all good. Don't judge. One man's cure for a disease is another man's rotten teeth. Anyway, so it was in Philadelphia. Now, Pennsylvania is not just known for its candy corn and disgusting Philly cheesesteaks. They also are the home of Milton Hershey, as you well know, in the Hershey Bar, Hershey, Pennsylvania. So it seems that we're getting a lot of our candy foundation from Pennsylvania. So I thought you might be interested to hear that. So obviously, and Reese's, the Reese's was from a gentleman named Mr. Reese. I forget his first name was John or something, but he worked for Hershey. And he used the milk chocolate from the Hershey plant and put it together with peanut butter, and hence another beautiful creation. Wonderful. People are working on things all the time. All the time. And sometimes magic. Chocolate and peanut butter. I do not like peanut butter, Sam I am. I do not like it in a can. I do not like it in a jar. I do not like it on white bread. I do not like it anyway. I am not a peanut butter person. I do not like it with jam. I do not like it with Sam. Anyway, I'll stop with the... Once I get rolling with Dr. Seuss, you can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me. All right, I'll stop now. So, but that is a big... People love it. They love the peanut chocolate combination. As a kid, I used to like, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Excuse me. Just speaking of peanut butter makes me sneeze. Look at that crazy hair today. So, as a kid, though, some of my favorite candies, I used to love a Three Musketeer, speaking of nougat. I used to love a Twix. Betwixt. Of course, Raisinets. You know, I still love raisins. Everybody knows me as the Raisin Man. But back then I loved Raisinets. So all those... Boy, they talk about Halloween's... I don't think we get the same amount of trick-or-treaters anymore. I think people are more into staying to areas they know, maybe the neighborhood. In Park Boulevard and Massapequa Park, they do all the stores do a safe Halloween, and there's more of that going on, whether you do it in schools or you do it in a group setting. Nobody wants people wandering around at 4:30, 5 o'clock at night as it gets wispy and dark and knocking on strangers' homes asking for weird food. It just, the whole idea of it sounds a little suspect. So I can understand you don't get as many trick-or-treaters anymore, or you just go to the homes you know. But I used to like those candies. Before, sometimes you'd even get like an apple. Somebody would just throw an apple in your bag. You're like, what is this? Or change. You get a couple of pennies. Like, what are you doing? Don't just empty out your closet. I don't want an old pair of socks. Like, come on. Think. Just give a kid a piece of candy. I mean, it's not going to kill you. But now, always be careful. Don't just blindly open your door to these cute little kids in ghost costumes. You don't know. They could be a crazy little person that's coming in to rob you blind. Maybe they'll knock on the door and think they're in a little cute Barbie costume. But we know better. So, open the door with a bit of caution. Don't just be, oh, you're so cute. Because then you'll find yourself like the Menendez brothers' parents. Brains splew out all over the Halloween bucket. So be careful. It's just a little Halloween tip from me to you. The Steve Squared Show to you. It's my gift to you. Happy Halloween. And be safe. Drive safely. It's getting dark out. Kids are running around. I say this all the time. Let's try to drive a little calmer that evening. You know, it'll be this time. There'll be kids outside. So just take it easy. I know you want to get home, but you'll get home. Get home 5 minutes later. What's the difference? I'm telling you. It's just I don't want to read about anything the next day. So be careful. What else do we got here? I had a couple other things for you guys. Let's see what's going on over here for a moment. See what else I got on the docket. I got these things. Oh, you know what I'll do here? Oh, Ken Jeong was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know Ken Jeong. He was. His story is so amazing. He was a doctor. It's an incredible story. He was a doctor, and then he gets into film and acting, and it's just an incredible story. You know him from the Hangover movies. He's in tons of things. I think he was in the show Community on TV. He's always in movie appearances. He's so good. He's so funny. But he was actually got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, so good for him. I like him, so I think that's why I'm mentioning it. That's a good call for him. That's a good idea. We did that already. We already talked about the Bruce getting a thing of his own. Oh, Billy Crystal has this terrible movie coming out. It's a series called Before on Apple. Well, nobody watches anything on Apple, so let's be serious. But tell me, I was reading about this. Listen to this. Oh my gosh. It says Eli, Billy Crystal, is a New York psychiatrist, which he's played about a dozen times in movies already, who has decided to give up his practice. Judith Light is in it. She's from Who's the Boss? You remember her. Until he's presented with one last case that he can't resist. It's always one last case. A little boy, Noah, played by Jacob Jupe, arrived at his door one night troubled by terrifying visions. Now, stay with me on this for a second. Spitball this with me. A psychiatrist, a little boy, terrible visions. You do the math. The Sixth Sense, for God's sake. They've made The Sixth Sense into a series and called it Before. What are you doing? No, this is what I'm talking about. This is not original. This is The Sixth Sense, and they cut it up into half-hour or whatever, 40-minute segments. This is terrible. It's terrible. It says, "Oh, Billy, this is a bloody mess." That's the. But it doesn't give this a really high rating. But it's what it is. It's stupid. This is interesting. I have a good one for you here. I got a good Dear Eric. I got a good Dear Eric for you. Dear Eric. Dear Eric. This letter is probably best read in the morning after your cup of coffee. I don't know why she said that. My husband of 50 plus years, good for you, has a habit of peeing outside. It's weird. Even though his office is equipped with its own bathroom, his dad and uncle did the same thing, but they chose an old patch of ivy. This is a weird family. My husband stands over beautiful landscaping on the small patio. Well, that's nice. At least he doesn't do it in the barbecue. I have expressed many times that I am offended and that he should stop, if for no other reason than that it upsets me and the neighbors. When he is caught, he apologizes profusely, but it happens again and again. I feel disrespected. I am thinking that this is about more than marking his territory. Can you help? Oh my God. You know what? After 50 years of marriage to you, let the guy pee anywhere he wants. That's what I say. You know what? Sooner or later, you won't have to worry because the neighbors will call the cops and they'll take him away, and then you'll be free of this man. Maybe he's got a problem. Maybe maybe he thinks he's a dog. Maybe he's having an alternative personality problem. You know, we all identify. Maybe he identifies as a dog and you're not recognizing him. Maybe you're the problem, not your husband who's peeing all over the yard. For God's sake, leave your husband alone. Everybody's bothering the husband. Can't take it anymore. Guy wants to pee. When he starts doing number 2 outside, maybe you want to call somebody. Maybe then you call Eric or you call me. Right now he's just peeing. Leave him alone. Okay? Once he starts doing number 2 and barking, all right, maybe I'll discuss it. But right now, you don't have a problem. You're ahead of the game. Okay? Stop it. Stop whining. Everybody's whining. I got one of these retro papers. Look at these papers. These were the old news days. 1962. It talks about the Reds are on their way. This is with the Cuban Missile Crisis. This was... Look at the paper. Look how much the paper is there. 5 cents. That's a nickel to you and me. This is October 23rd, 1962. It was a Tuesday. 5 cents. And there's some great things in here. I wanted to show you some pretty cool stuff. Cooler than World War III that was about to happen. But look at this. This is really cool. Let me show you this. Can I show you this? Let me show you this real quick. It says here you can get at Sears 3 shirts for $5. That's fantastic. Thermal shirts or drawers. Thermal underwear, $1.98 for thermal underwear. You see the guy? And look at the guy. They show, well, first of all, it's a pencil. It's a stencil of a man. And he's cocking the rifle because he's going to go out and pee on the front lawn in his thermal underwear. Back in the 60s, you could do that without a problem. As long as you had a shotgun and a pair of thermal underwear from Sears, then you were set to go. Then you could pee anywhere you want all over the lawn. Nobody's bothering you, and you got a sawed-off 6-gauge. But that's pretty good. No money down. They were really financing this. You don't have to put any money down. You can use a revolving charge account. So let's say you had a tough week and you couldn't scrape together the $1.98 for the thermal underwear. You could buy these on promise, as they used to say back in the day. Not a charge. Buy it on promise. It's a promissory note. Man, do I wish I would have lived during these times. You get coats for $12.97. Very good. What a world back then, right? Very interesting. And there was something else I wanted to share with you about these times. This was another weird story. There was 12 missing boys. Look at this story. 12 missing boys. And they were found at Mill Pond in Wantagh. This is back in 1962. They were camping. Never went home. 12 days till somebody smelled smoke or something. Found them in the woods. What is? I don't even understand this. They were hanging out in the woods camping. Like it was a scene from Stand By Me or something. The parents, nobody was looking. 12 days? And they finally find these kids? And the kids were like, well, what's the big deal? We were camping. What a time. What a time to be alive. 1960s. Pretty cool. We're almost closing up shop a little. I got dumbbells going on, so I got a lot of good stuff going on. Go on to Stephen R. Kaminsky, my Instagram. You'll see all the latest Halloween news, where to go Halloween shopping. There's spooky trails all over the place. They talk about all these spooky trails. Is there any? Bayville Scream Park you can go to this week. The Long Island Haunted Firehouse. Schmidt's Farm is having a real special going on. That's Tony works at White Post. They do stuff over there. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Things all over the place. So anyway, great job today. Give yourselves a hand. I think we covered a lot of good material and really, really good stuff. Next week, we probably, I don't think we'll be in the studio next week. Probably the week after. We're still working out logistics. With Tony's been doing stuff, and we've all been mixing and matching and got a lot of crazy stuff going on. So, we'll deal with that as we go. What else is? Oh, there was one thing I did want to mention. One night only at Hop Hog High School. All right. An Evening with the Stars of Rock and Roll. This is December 14th. It's people I've never heard. Jimmy Gallagher and the Passions. These are people that had like one big song back in the day. Real back. Kenny Vance and the Plantones. These are those kind of groups. But there's one that caught my eye. Lala Brooks. Lala Brooks was in, was it the Shirelles? One of those groups. Might have been the Shirelles or something like that. It wasn't the Ronettes. That's Ronnie Spector. Might have been the Shirelles. And she sang To Do Run, 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 To Do Run, Run. And she is great. If you look her up then, singing it in the 1960s. And now there's a great clip of her doing it on the David Letterman show also. And Then He Kissed Me. That's another one of her big songs. You know that song. That was in Goodfellas. So but she's fantastic. I mean, I don't know how old she is now, but she was the lead singer in Lala Brooks in, I think it was, again, the Shirelles. But check that out. She's going to be there. So it's almost worth it just to see her. I'm telling you, she's dynamite. And I don't use the word dynamite a lot. You know me. So I like to stay away from dynamite. Too explosive. But boy, now we really covered a lot. So I'm going to close shop. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. Have a happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Have a safe week. Enjoy, but do it in a safe, responsible way. It's the way you should live your whole life, in a safe, responsible way. I'm like a public service announcement. That's what the Steve Squared Show has turned into. A public service announcement. For myself. For Kermit. And for Nougat. I'm Funny Man Stevie K. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for stopping in and watching the Steve Squared Show. And we'll see you next week. Have a great